stuff. We'll probably leave the heavier stuff to the end. But there's a lot of general stuff that we'll build up to with that one. And yeah, I think maybe it's time for the news. What do you think, chat? News time? Good News Week. Man, that's a show that... Australian show. Alright, here we go. News time. Alright, my house smells like sweets. I'm ready to go. All I can smell is baked goods right now. It's making me very hungry. We'll start off the news today with some not too surprising news. Ubisoft delays Rainbow Six Extraction and Riders Republic. Now, this isn't too surprising. We're gonna, like, COVID delays still happening. These are pretty big games. But Ubisoft is in a funny space right now. So, probably gonna see a lot of delays and a lot of changes internally with them. But we will talk about why in a second, with the other article tied to this, which is French Union files collective lawsuit against Ubisoft. So this might be the theme of today's particular news set. A lot of big business, big news, big lawsuits, I guess. So Ubisoft already slapped pretty fucking hard, had a lot of restructuring up the top. At the same time, a lot of changes have happened within the organization. Not enough changes have happened to have, like, say, the Montreal law enforcement and, well, law enforcement, I don't know if that's the correct terms, and then also the French one, the French Union getting involved again. Like, they haven't done good enough, and we're probably going to see Ubisoft get slapped around a bit more, probably for the better. It sounds like there's a lot of AAA organizations right now that are not doing the right thing, and it's starting to come to a boil. This is something where it's like the AAA, the wording going around is the frat house vibe of these big studios, and it's big business. Like, it's just, it sounds like that's, with time, might be getting addressed. So hopefully lawsuits and things like that will help assist to deal with some of this, but we'll see. We'll see with time. Just got to keep an eye on it, and always be aware that, yeah, your big AAA company ain't your friend. They big business. They may not look after their staff. Take that as you will. Moving on, big business, big AAAs. Xbox, Activision, EA, and more are confirmed for Gamescom 2021. So Gamescom 2021 is around the corner. It's a month away. Oh my gosh. Hello, Rainbow.
Or from Wendy's. Spend my hard-earned good boy points on Kids Meal Bowl Pit burger joints.
Welcome in, Rainbow. It's favorite mod that's not CJ. Well, CJ got a bit of love from chat. CJ was welcomed on in. Everyone welcome in Rainbow, please. She's definitely your favorite mod that's not CJ. But yeah, Gamescom. So Gamescom is, I'm looking forward to, because there was a lot of stuff that wasn't announced at E3 that has probably been delayed that might end up at Gamescom. And now I am excited by some of these ones here. So we've got 505 Games, Activision, Aerosoft, Assemble, Astragon, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, EA, Game Evil Compass 2 Europe. I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this? Well, like Gamescom. Head Up. So, by the way, Gamescom has a lot of European developers. So, there's a lot of ones that won't be as big as studios. A lot of smaller studios and ones that haven't released as many games that, well, not as well known in the Western sense. Indie Arena, Koch Media, Next Studios, which are owned by Tencent Games, Sega Europe, Team 17, Thunderful Games, Ubisoft, Wargaming, Xbox. Probably the one that I give the most shit about here is Bandai Namco. because Bandai is releasing so much this year. They've got so much prepped. So it'd be nice to have an announcement here. As for the others, might be one or two things, but a lot of the time, Gamescom is a sort of a mixed bag. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get. Something fun, but a lot of the time, a lot of things like RTSs and things that are popular in Europe end up coming out. No feet reveal. I mean, hang on. Hang on. I might just step out of my clothes quickly. No, we can't do that. I can't show my feet. That's too rude. That's too rude, Selmas. I do have little feetsies though. Alright. Moving on. Well, this is just talking more about that. That's the same thing. Nintendo has no plans to release a new model Switch after the OLED. So there's been a couple of things that have come out about the new Switch. Stuff about how the up price and whether or not that Nintendo is actually trying to make an additional set of profit on this particular model, just because the OLEDs aren't that expensive to actually manufacture, and how the new docks are and things like that. But that's not necessarily true. That sounds like that's sort of been falsified. There's a lot of... Bloomberg needs to get their shit together. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out that has just been ridiculous that's been said over the past year. I don't know if it's whether or not it's because of the fact that they're having... they're leaning on the fact that they've got Jason Schreier being there, that they can defend themselves against saying anything ridiculous. But a lot of stuff has come out. If I give you 100 bits, will you do it? For you, Selmas. For you, Selmas, for 100 bits, I'd show you my little feetsies. Just in the middle of the news. Is that too rude for the news? I feel like that might be too rude. Hang on. I'm just gonna check something. Can I actually... No, that's at the bottom. I'd have to do something. I think I could do it. But, Selmas, it's gonna cost you. This is like the live OnlyFans. No, what was I saying? The OLED model looks nice. It's a little bit better. It's not really something everyone should be going for, but it doesn't seem like Nintendo is trying to do a profit off it. But one of the things is that the intent... Oh my god.
Heck yeah, show me.
Okay, so hang on, I haven't moved myself around here a little bit in a while. How do I do it? I've actually forgotten how to do this. How do I do this? Oh no, the hotkeys aren't working. Oh no, Selmas, this might have gone poorly. Why can't I move myself? What's going on? Huh? Huh? Oh. Oh. I can make myself smaller. I don't know why that's happening. Why can't I move myself? This is really weird. Okay. Anyway. I've made myself smaller. We're now a tiny man in a suit. But there you go. There you go, Selmas. There's my little feetsies. You've never seen them before. I'm off. I'm off for a little adventure. I got very small. There's chat. You look after yourself. Alright. Oh god, I need to resize myself. All my hotkeys must have been reset at some point. That's pretty bad. Little feetsy reveal. What's this? What's this? Kitty shows off legs. Viral hog. What is this? What have you linked, CJ? Do I want to click on this? I'm worried about clicking on this. Now, yeah, so the Switch supposedly is not going to be any more models. Now, this is one of those things that I think that the new Switch model will be like, there's no new Switch models after this supposedly, so we could probably put that to rest. All those rumors that are really overblown with something like this, it's kind of something that I'm glad that they've stated this, and I'm kind of hope people will shut up for a bit, because the amount of like rumors that were going around for this particular model that was so false was insane to me. Like, so many people were telling me just like ridiculous. Oh my god, Rainbow. I like that. I like that block term. Thank you, Random Pelico Man. Alright. This is for CJ.
Simba! Simba! Show me them legs!
This is so rude. Why are they watching a man groom? Why are they watching a man groom? Licking his junk like that. Moving on. Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin ships sales over 1 million. Now, I absolutely love this game. I honestly think if you like monster raising games and RPGs, check out Monster Hunter Stories. I think it's a good game, not just because of the fact it's Monster Hunter, and there's lots of nostalgia there, but it's enjoyable. I honestly think this has just been an enjoyable experience, and I want to play more of it. I can't wait to get to endgame, because it seems like there's quite a lot of content as well, which is an insane thing to say, considering how long it's taken me to get through the story. But, yeah, it sounds like this one sold well. This, for a game that was advertised as hard as it was, it's kind of nice to see that it does feed back into it. And Capcom just are doing well. Capcom is not seeming to be failing anywhere, which is quite nice to see. Let's hope that they can get their fighting game division going again, because probably the only area that's lacking. Maybe they could resurrect a few other IPs, maybe fix Mega Man. But yeah, good job, Capcom. You're still doing well. The Monster Hunter team, you just stick fucking killing it, I have to say. I just can't wait for Rise to get more content. That's the thing I'm waiting for. Hopefully we can get a better roadmap after, why is there just Twitch emotes everywhere? What's going on? Hopefully, Rise, we can get a content map similar to Stories 2 eventually, because at this stage, it's a bit lacking. But that's okay. That's okay. Alright, now I didn't grab a few articles related to this, but Tencent might need to be dealt with. Tencent might be an organization that is going a little too fucking hard, and monopoly laws might need to step in, because this is getting a little silly. Tencent bought 3 different companies today and opened a new, this week, and opened a new studio. Now, with the release of Pokemon Unite, which is a Tencent-owned IP as well, it's going to be a really, really, really fucking insane amount of money going back into Tencent. A Chinese-owned organization that aren't particularly following a lot of rules when it comes to global gaming laws. There's some stuff where there's a bit dodgy stuff with like how gacha rules and stuff are. So I haven't got an article on Pokemon Unite specifically, but I am well aware of playing it and seeing some of the monetization in that game and people being very upset about it. And what I'll say is that I'm probably more worried of the fact that it is Pokemon having that sort of financial scheme rather than it being overly predatory for a Tencent game. Because a lot of Chinese and Korean games are predatory in that particular way. And not saying it's good or anything, but it's one of those things where unfortunately we might see more of that with some of these studios. But yeah, we'll see. It worries me seeing Tencent's name on so much branding. There are a couple of studios, like the studio that own the group that owns Bethesda and things like that. Like Bethesda isn't top dog when it comes to their organization. I forget who they're owned by. And I think like Koch Media and stuff like that. There's like a few that are like, they're big and they own lots of people. And you wouldn't realize it, but Tencent's getting a lot. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if this is a good thing, it's a bad thing. It's just a thing that I think the industry needs to keep an eye on. And every week Tencent, like I'm not joking, every week for the past 3 months I've basically talked about Tencent coming up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this all goes. This was a kind of out of nowhere announcement, which was pretty fun to see. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels announced for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, iOS, and Android. It's literally everywhere. It's a game that is literally everywhere. Now, if you guys didn't see this, I think this is the full one. Yes. So, if you guys didn't see this, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has announced a lot of games at once. I think this is the trailer just for Master Duel. So Master Duel is their next mainline digital card game. It is the standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Rule sets, but it looks really nice. If you've ever played anything like Legacy of the Duelist and things like that, really fun. Links have been adjusted. This will have the new modern Master Rule set, and it looks nice. It doesn't look like Yu-Gi-Oh! If you've ever played a lot of card games online, it looks like Shadowverse and things like that, with some live 2D animations. Even the sort of color palette that a lot of this looks like. It looks like Magic the Gathering. Well, I mean, Magic the Gathering stole their like stuff as well. Like a lot of it's just feed back into each other. But it looks like the modern card game sort of look. And for Yu-Gi-Oh, that's had the very sort of simplistic look for a very long time. This is kind of nice to see. I think these visuals are kind of sick. And as a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, very excited. And I love them just showing off a 5-hand pendulum swing with 5 to 7. What the fuck? That's not something that happens that normal. I also, fuck, this, do you want to know my favorite thing? Look at this. Look how cool this is. If you've ever played card games, sometimes it's hard to represent links. Look at this. Look at chain, you literally get a visual representation of the chain link order. 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, it shows the order that it's activating too. That's so good. That's so good. That's one of my favorite things I've seen. But yes, I'm very excited for this game. They also did announce 2 other games as well, which I don't know if this article also has it. Where are we? My son sure is healthy. Gosh. Do we have... Should have grabbed the other article. New gamers? New gamers? New gamers? Here, we'll go to... This is the Konami. This is on Konami. So, the announcement was... Master Duel was like the big one. Rush Duel is the kids' speedy version, similar to if you've ever played like things like... well, I guess Hearthstone. If you've ever played any of those faster game modes, like Hearthstone, Shadowverse, even Magic the Gathering's got one. That's like that one with the anime series tied to it. There's new content for Duel Links, which I think is the new season, which is going up to... Is it going up to Pendulums? We're up to XYDs. I think it's up to Pendulums. I think so. But now is... And then the next one is... Cross Duel, which seemingly is a cross-platform 4-player card game battling simulation. No idea how that's going to play out. Multiplayer card games are very funny things. And then... doing it with Yu-Gi-Oh! They've tried to invent these rule sets in the past. They have not been fantastic. I don't think they play very well. I honestly am not a big fan of them, just because they feel it's just too clumsy. The way card games are designed, specifically in the original formats, don't really translate well to multiplayer like that. But they've been working on this for a while. We'll see. Maybe it'll be okay. But it is going to be a mobile game as well. Wait, the Olympics are getting a lawsuit? No. I mean, they probably should, I'll be honest, over some of this dumb shit that's happened over it. I'll talk about that later. There's some big lawsuits up ahead in the news. Hey Shavo, how you doing? It's super serious time? It's the news time. I haven't really fixed my internet. I'm watching me in 1080p with another stream in the background. Nice, CJ. Wow, you really did, you did fix it then. But yes, so I'm looking forward to Master Duel in particular. Duel Links I have stopped playing a while ago. Rush Duel I don't really care about because I don't really like the speed format, even though Duel Links technically is a speed format. And Cross Duel, we'll see. We'll see if people will enjoy that one. But yeah, good old Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfortunately, in the opposite though, something I do love, which is One Punch Man, but the game I did not enjoy, and Hero Nobody Knows, servers will close in 2022. This game must have sold particularly poorly. It's one of those things where this kind of happens with games sometimes. Like they'll come by and people won't pick it up. It just won't gel. This one was always a weird one, just in a fitting sense, because like you can't play as Saitama really. He just comes in one-shots things. There was a One Punch Man game. There was. It's very similar to a lot of those other sort of ones, but it's got a specific niche that Saitama plays really weirdly. He literally is a timer. If you can't win the match, he just comes in one-shots. That's his thing. It didn't sound like it played fantastically. It didn't sound like it didn't really go well in design. And it just sounds like it didn't sell very well either. So as much as One Punch Man's cool, I don't think One Punch Man is going to be in the collective mindset anymore from this point on. Jewel, like the vapey thing? What, Selmas? I don't know what you're talking about. Moving on, Steam replacing the big picture mode with Steam Deck UI. So the Steam Deck UI actually looks alright. I'm okay with this. It would be nice to have a change because big picture sucks. Big picture mode sucks. I really have never liked it. It shocks me that it's never got improved, but it's very clumsy. I think that it's kind of not nice looking, and it's actually a little slow in a lot of various ways to actually interact with the UI. And so hopefully this improves a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for the Steam Deck. Hopefully it sells well enough that there gets a different iteration that is a bit better. But yeah, curious how well this thing will sell. One Punch Man Season 2, I know. I mean, going from Bones to anyone's pretty crazy, CJ, but it's hard because One Punch Man it goes a weird direction for a little bit. It gets a lot better later on, but the arc that studio had to do for One Punch Man Season 2 wasn't fantastic. They probably should have cut out some of the stuff in the middle there. There's a lot of stuff that happens for a bit, but yeah. It's just unfortunate. It looks so cheap too. Yeah, it wasn't a great studio that got picked up, unfortunately. Oh, I should have paired this with the other Tencent news. Tencent to buy Crackdown and Sackboy developer Sumo in a $1.3 million deal. This is what I was talking about before. Tencent's buying a whole heap of different things. There was a couple of different studios they purchased. It's Tencent's just, they've got their fingers everywhere. Just be prepared, you're going to see their name everywhere. And especially with Pokemon Unite doing well, you're going to see it a lot more. Speaking about doing well, Final Fantasy XIV digital editions on sale for a limited time. Now, I talked about last week, the digital editions sold out because of just how many people were purchasing Final Fantasy XIV. Don't know if this is because of how popular it is or if it's the fact that they're trying to make up for people not being able to buy it at the time. But yeah, again, Final Fantasy XIV, fantastic. I think starting at the start of the game is still going to be a weird thing because of how slow Realm Reborn is in terms of leveling. But it's fantastic. It's really fun. I do suggest people checking it out if you're into MMOs, like traditional style MMOs. Yeah, it's just an exciting time to be able to just talk about 14. People are like, yeah. My Punch Lady is level 22 in 14. Not sure how to get a group or dungeon or mount though. A mount is a while in from memory, CJ. I can't remember what level it is. And dungeons, you should be able to start dungeons from like about 20. It's like around 20 or so. If you do need a carry over CJ, just let me know. I think I've still got time on my 14 days left, my free 14 days. I am a max level Dark Knight, so I can tank anything. So maybe Tencent will buy me. God. One day. I've talked about sponsorships and monies and stuff. I have no idea how I'd handle that stuff. Whether or not is it be a point there where I'd just sell my soul. Some of 14's interface is cool, but I need to stop and loot. No need to stop and loot. The other parts are stupid, like having the literal hand in quests with items and drag and drop. Man, yeah, CJ, the drag and drop item thing is a weird legacy thing that's built into the game, and I do wish that they had gotten rid of it. It's a little frustrating. There's some quests that are especially use item quests that WoW's made that a lot more intuitive. 14 has still not quite figured out how to do some of that stuff. Selling multiple items at once. No, you can sell multiple items at once. You can use, I think you can. I don't know. Been a while. There's a lot of UI stuff in 14 though that's not fantastic. Like there's a lot of legacy stuff. It feels old because of that, just that alone. I still can't imagine playing an MMO on a console, but people do it, so. The Witcher anime, Nightmare of the Wolf, debuts in August. Now, if you didn't watch the other Netflix series for The Witcher, that was extremely good. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people, I think, did enjoy it as well. And so an anime, hopefully, if directed well, will turn out well as well. Yeah, I guess here's a trailer. What I will say, I didn't like the Castlevania anime, but I feel like Witcher matches that tone that they were going for in that anime a lot better. I really didn't like that Castlevania anime.
There is no place amidst honest men for them. Fear and ignorance are good business.
Well, witches are experts in price.
You have to keep a brand.
It looks like it looks like Avatar.
What is the worth of your word, Vesemir?
See, I'm a monster hunter. Every deal.
Monster Hunter. Wait, hang on. So is this a different? This isn't Geralt. Is this another Witcher? Wait, is this an anime about another Witcher? Oh shit! I'm actually into that.
Friend of yours?
Friend of a friend.
This looks pretty good. This is Vesemir. It's Geralt's teacher. Oh, it's young Vesemir, is it? Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm into that. Pretty cool. Live action Witcher was good, but they should have made it more obvious that the story was non-linear. Once my ex explained. Oh, really? Oh, I realized straight off the bat, CJ. I really liked that TV show. It was really, really fun. Is the big event 5 years ago? The story refers to the death of the old Final Fantasy. Oh yes, CJ. If you don't realize, yeah, A Realm Reborn is post the events of base 14. The original 14 that came out, the end of the world happened. Go watch the end of the world. You literally can watch it, CJ. There's lots of people who have recorded their time when the servers went down and 14 got closed off, and you can watch players like hanging out just before the end of the world. It's a very weird thing to happen in a video game. Like in an MMO, the idea that you're literally sitting there watching your world get destroyed prematurely, like they effectively failed. They knew that they failed, and so they went down the road of, well, let's just end the world and start again. And that's why A Realm Reborn exists, and I think it's so fun. Was that Matt Mercer? It did sound like Matt Mercer, I think, Carter. Also, welcome in, Carter. Nightmare of the Wolf will follow the adventures of young Vesemir and take place several years before his adventures with Geralt. Fans are familiar with. Yeah, okay, cool. That's pretty cool. I'm into that. I think that looked alright. That didn't look too bad. It depends on how the dialogue is, because if writing is shit in a Western thing, I'm just like, this is not good. This is not worth my time. Because like flashy animation can only take you so far. Speaking about good writing, Ghost of Tsushima trailer introduced Iki Island and Ansgar Khartoum. So, Ghost of Tsushima, I fucking absolutely loved that game. I think that the open world component was probably the thing I let down. As a linear story,
They claim to follow someone called
very good. And this one, the fact that the one issue I had with the game, which was Japanese lip syncing being added, is amazing. Hey Mo, how you doing? Yo. Hey Mo. I'm in the Netflix dungeon? What does that mean? Do we have to rescue from the Netflix dungeon? Is Geralt in there? It's really funny with Netflix, where it's like it's just a lot of exclusivity there now. Wait, hang on, what?
Your journey was hard.
Oh, what? Jin gets captured in the DLC.
Let me guide you through the whole.
Is this a female Khan?
Purge the guilt from your spirit. Make you whole again.
Those people lost their minds. If the eagle can do that to the whole island.
What is this?
What's a samurai doing on Iki Island?
the eagle sent us.
Oh, I really want to play this. I'm not gonna lie. This seems interesting as a plot. I like the idea of like Jin's stories continuing. It's the in Final Fantasy 14, the one where you can't skip any cutscenes. Wait, wait. There's a few of those, especially the first time you're through them. If you go first time through your dungeon, you will not be able to skip cutscenes. Wait, do you mean at the end of Realm Reborn? Wait, hang on, Mo, are you at the end of Realm Reborn? You did that fast if that's the case. I'm at the end. Yeah, holy shit, you're in the roulette. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Okay, Mo. Yeah, so that's the one. Mo, just to let you know, max level players have hated that dungeon forever because that's the reason why people skip the story roulette. Story roulette is one you'll find that it's hard to find quests for because the story roulette is has that dungeon in it, and it's like a 20-minute dungeon, and you can't skip it. It's so well, it's probably longer than 20 minutes. Fantastic end fight. I think there's a lot of really good set pieces within that particular dungeon, but oh my god, Praetorium, yeah, exactly, that's the one. Yeah. Also, welcome in, Nail. 43 minutes. It's mad. I don't know why that dungeon's not split in two or something. Yeah, they need to fix that. It's really frustrating. Praetorium. I really don't like that dungeon. It's got really good quests. It's just those two. Yeah. He's dealing with the trauma from the events from the main game. I'm totally okay with that. DLC is like a drug fueled from what I'm seeing. It's like Far Cry 3. The one where Daimono and Naviru have to save Mo from the Netflix dungeon. Naviru turning into essentially Zerora from Pokemon was the weirdest thing. That's still reeling from that event. I did it for last night through the story. I just copped it again from the roulette. Yeah, Mo, my suggestion is don't do the story roulette. Try and avoid it. Just try and, I know it's like it limits how many roulettes you do, but it's a big old waste of time because you get the XP is not relative and the resources you get are not relative to how long you spend in it. They really should give you a better boost for doing it. It's not great. They haven't done it since Realm Reborn, unless you really need XP. Yeah, I'd avoid it. I just avoid it, honestly. Speaking about Monster Hunter stories, though, Capcom addresses bugs in Monster Hunter Stories 2, removing monster color changes. So a heap of various. Oh no, actually, speaking of which, with that tip, it's probably really bad right now because a lot of new players are coming in. So that part of the story is probably being played lots. So yeah, unless you really need to do it, just avoid it. So it addresses a whole heap of various little bugs for Stories 2, which are small things. Players unable to see the story final cutscene. I recommend save continuously. Corrupted data has been found message when accessing multiplayer's been fixed. Level 99 monsters reverting to level 1. Some of them pretty big bugs. But the big one I wanted to talk about, which I brought up yesterday on stream, was monster body colors change when their primary element is changed. This was actually a bug. It's a legacy thing from the previous game that somehow made it into this game. And maybe they were tossing up whether or not they were going to add it, which I'll explain what that means. So every monster has an element, but you can push the monster in another direction by giving it particular stats from its inherited genes, which you could make a water monster into a fire monster. And by doing that, you would make the monster be able to change from a blue paletted monster to a red paletted monster. However, supposedly that was not meant to be in the game, and they've removed it, which kind of sucks because changing elements for monsters was a pretty cool thing. The idea that you could have a, like, say, Mizune, like on screen here, instead of firing a water beam or bubbles, fire a fire beam or electricity, which is pretty cool. You can still do that, but not to the extent that it's very effective. So, wait till the first clear of the day. It's like a huge amount of XP. Yeah, you kind of want to be picky with your roulettes, like, and when you want to do them and stuff. The roulettes become a lot more effective, especially at endgame as well. Like, you get a lot of shit for, like, doing the roulettes. And pretty much you do your 5 roulettes in the day, and then you can log off. But yeah. Spoilers for Monster Hunter Moflix. Naviru and Daimono fused to become Navimono and break a bunch of stuff. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'd do a fusion dance with Naviru. Though I think most of the power would be coming from Naviru's side. Genshin Impact version 2.0 is now released. I think I've got a few Genshin articles today, or is it just these two? There's just two. So I actually might return to Genshin. This particular update seems pretty exciting. It is a Japanese styled area with new Japanese characters, which is the base Genshin is a lot more Chinese focused. And you know, I'm a big old weeb, so we'll jump into this probably. There's a lot of shit. Look at all the stuff that's added. This looks like an MMO adding a lot of crap. Now it's not in a full expansion level of content, but it sounds like a pretty sizable amount. Oh, okay. I'll have to remember that, Mo, because I think I'm on a completely different one. I'm on the Australian one, quotation marks. So I'm going to assume that. Are you... Mo, is that one of the American servers? Are you playing with Spooky? Because, yeah, I'm not sure I can join different guilds across server, but... They need to stack XP so people would do the main story quest one. I know, Nail. It's pretty fucked. Yeah, a whole bunch of my friends... yeah. How's the lag, Mo? Because from Australia to Japan, it's pretty bad. That's why I'm really excited for the Oceania servers. But, playing on NA, I can't imagine. I wouldn't be able to raid. There'd be no way I'd be able to do mechanics on that latency. There'd be at least 100 ms. 200 probably, actually, for a game like that. But yeah, oh man, I can't imagine that. Imagine a lot of delays on a lot of your actions. And with Genshin, there's one other thing. Genshin Impact got its first crossover character. Weirdly enough, Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Sony really wanting to push this character. Really want to push this character. And she's cute. I actually like this. I think originally when someone told me this, I'm like, what the fuck? This is such a weird match. She actually looks cute. I still don't think this matches Genshin's art style. It's a bit strange, but she's a free character, a free Frost Archer, and she's pretty cute like this. I'm not gonna lie. After 6.0, you'll be able to visit other data centers. Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of waiting for, Nail. I think a lot of those changes will make a lot of that stuff better. It's definitely noticeable, but I just turn on Mudfish when I need it. Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. It's also my first MMO in so long time. I can't tell the difference. Yeah, so having bad lag for raids, Mo, sucks. Like, you can't do mechanics properly. So, a good thing about Final Fantasy, it has a lot of client-side stuff, but there's some server stuff. And sometimes when the server stuff happens, like, it's impossible to dodge mechanics. I cannot deal with certain mechanics when it's like that. A good example is doing the Rathalos dungeon. That fight sucks with lag. I cannot understand why that was like, that fight was that way. It really bums me out. It was the reason I didn't grind it. There is a gimmick. That is a gimmick fight. That is true. It's just super laggy though. A lot of that fight's all server side, Nail. So playing on Japanese servers it makes it very tough. More specific, Navimono break Mo out of Netflix dungeon. Fuse become Navimono and become Olympic champions before getting suspended for possession of weed. I like weed as the thing that they get tracked for, the thing that doesn't improve their ability in the Olympics. No gimmick in the fight to dodge it. Oh, right, yeah. No, Nail, specifically, there is extreme lag issues with that fight because, like, you could be nowhere near the animation, but because it's played server-side, it'll just completely destroy you. Like, the game still thinks you're in the previous locations. It doesn't calculate it the same way normal fights do. Moving on. Lost Judgment Detective Dog stars in the newest trailer. Now, I really want to play the new Lost Judgment game. It looks really nice. But this trailer has a dog in it, so I think I need to watch it. I think it's a lot of the same stuff. But if you haven't seen this, I can't get over just how much this just looks real. This new engine, the Dragon engine, is mad. It's so insanely good looking. And because of the fact this is proper Yakuza combat, I think this makes me a little more exciting. Oh, it looks like they got this like the stealth and climbing stuff. I'm on a Gringo server. A bit chunky at times, but kind of reminds me of playing WoW in high school. Wait, are you not on? Wait, CJ, you're not on an Australian server for some reason. I recognize some of these. So it's just weird because moments like this, where them walking into the convenience store, where it's like you know exactly the layouts because they're pretty much the layouts for most convenience stores are just exactly the same in Japan, and it just looks like Japan. They've just completely recreated it. There are no Australian servers in the 14. There is Australian quotation marks servers, CJ. They're Japanese servers, but it's where all Australian players are. But some of them are a bit better for our latency than some of the others for some reason. Where's my detective dog? Here we go. Shit, yeah, detective dog. Oh, what? It had like a 2-second thing about detective dog. Where I want more detective dog. This highlight lied to me.
Stealth. Deceive opponents. Take down unsuspecting.
It's weird hearing this in English actually.
Yagami has added a new martial art.
But yeah, if you've never played a Yakuza game, and you can see this is a little less stylized, it's more realistic and gritty and stuff, and that's kind of what Judgment is. But it still has the ridiculous things. Like, here's Robot Battle Club. You want to join Robo Battle Club? 1.0 was awful for everyone outside of Japan. It really was, Nail. It was fucked. Show more parkour and climbing. It's my favorite shit in these games. You're kidding me. The parkour is something people notably talked up is not great.
Get lost, you marshmallow fuck!
Oh, I like that was the one audio thing that I didn't talk over. We can do some Tony Hawk. You guys want to do some Tony Hawk? You want to play Sonic Fighters? A terrible game. But yeah, it's very Yakuza. I'm looking forward to this game. I think this will just be super fun. But yeah, was that Skate 4? Yeah, if you've never played a Yakuza game, this is what these are. They're just mini games. There's just so many mini games in them. Like, if you want amount of hours per dollar, Yakuza games and Judgment, very worthwhile. There's a lot to do in them. But yeah, I'm very much looking into this game. Final spoiler, after the credits, CJ and Rainbow invite Navi and Daimono to join their superhero league and sets up Moflix 2, the Super Nav. Gosh. Skate video was a fucking tease. I knew it would be, but Jesus. Wait. Oh, I didn't actually see that news, CJ. What was the skate news? I missed that. I heard it, but I didn't look into it. Battlefield 2042 reveals a community-driven platform Battlefield Portal. So, I didn't look too much in this. I heard people making Portal jokes about this. My assumption that this is just a portal to make groups and things. I can't imagine be actually making assets. Maybe it's making levels. What is this? The creation suite contains settings, custom modes, and a logic editor, so you can build your own signature spin on the Battlefield sandbox. Oh, so it's like building like levels and stuff and game modes. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. The Skate 4 video was all live action and saying, yeah, we'll be working on it. Really? Oh, you're kidding me, CJ. I'm keen for Portal mode. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, like, that's one of those things that I think that is really good for, like, Call of Duty and things like that. And even, like, Apexes have some of that stuff, where it's just, like, different various game modes within the same game, pushing the game in, like, a new fun direction and inventing new game modes. So it's really fun. Hey, Taco. Hey, Bim Man. Why don't fish play basketball? Oh, no. Are we getting a dad joke here? Thank you for the water now. The game would go on later to be one of the greatest in the series of all times, after beating regular Monster Hunter in popularity. They're too scared of the net. Oh, God. Thank you, Taco, for the dad joke. Gotta have one every now and then. So I think it's like World War I German Empire versus a Battlefield Company 2 faction in low gravity on a Battlefield 3 map, and that's the portal mode. Oh, is this what people were talking about, like the Nazi mode stuff? Okay, I was like, how are World War I Nazis back in Battlefield 2042? This is what you were talking about. Gotcha. Okay, that makes way more sense. I told that person to joke to a person in a wheelchair. They were rolling. Oh my god. Taco's taking up his banner of Dad in chat. Speaking of Dad in chat, Dead Space remake announced. So this, I saw people getting really excited for this. Dead Space, not a game series I don't really give a shit about, just because I'm not a horror person. It's a very visceral, like, sort of experience, very gory, but it's seems like people are pretty fucking excited about this, and I understand, because this game, the games weren't bad. I've watched people play these, and these games were actually really well made. It's a little sad what happened with Dead Space 3, but people really enjoyed these games. A space game sounds fun. Less about the space, unfortunately, with this particular game. That's a screenshot of the Caspian border. Wait, what? Oh, on the map, right, on the other one. Ripping limb from limb. Wait, what does this have to do with Dad in chat? I don't know. I couldn't really find a good segue, so we went to Dead Space chat. The stomp button was very good in this. The stomp button's very funny. That's where most of the memes come from in that one. But yeah, Dead Space. I mean, he's not a dad. He could be a dad. I don't know. They never made a Dead Space 3. Now there's a Dawn of War 3. Wait, I thought there was a Dead Space 3. Or is it Dead Space 2 only? No. Oh, right. Got you. Now I understand, CJ. I reread what you said. Alright, moving on. And speaking of Netflix, so Netflix actually is a lot going on right here. Netflix games won't be the Netflix of games, which doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, Netflix is launching their own gaming platform, but they are not planning to make it like a sort of similar service to how Netflix is currently. So don't know what that means. They go into quite a bit of detail here. If you are interested in what their plans are, because they're talking about a lot of development, there is a lot about this right now, but it's super duper early in the works. So I'm not going to dive too much into it because a lot of stuff will probably change over time. But Amazon, Netflix, all that sort of stuff, it's happening. Still very strange to me. Very, very strange. DaiMono? Oh no. Dead Space is a 2008 So Dad game. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's old enough to be a dad game now, right? Is that how that works? What's this, CJ? Knitflux? What is this, CJ? Near Reincarnation Automata crossover event gacha will include 2P pity system on launch. Okay, so I'm very excited. Reincarnation is so close to release. It's July 28th. It is only a few days away. I'm very excited for this game. I love Nier, and they're launching with the Reincarnation Replicant crossover event, which will give you 2B and 2P. I think maybe it's just 2P actually. 2B is in it. You can play as the 3 cast members from... Oh my gosh. Thank you, Selmers. And yeah, they're also doing a pity system. So I don't know what the pity system is. I assume that's... So if you don't know pity systems, if you roll too many times on a particular like character roll or gacha roll and you don't get it, what it'll do is it will give you higher rates basically until you get it, and then at a certain point it's pretty much like basically like 100%. 2P. If you don't know who 2P is, I might do this. 2P and Oh, how did I mute myself? What the what did I press to mute myself there? I don't even know what I pressed. I don't know. Sometimes I just mute myself sometimes. I have no idea what's causing it. Maybe I've got an extra hotkey set up somewhere. The Google Doodle Days little... Oh, we'll talk about that in a moment, CJ. We're pretty close to that. But yeah, so it's pretty much she's just a palette swap. She was in 14 and she was in Soul Calibur, and she's pseudo-canonical. So she's appearing in more things. And the fact that she's in a crossover event makes me feel like she's pretty much canon at this point. Playdate pre-orders go live next week. If you don't know what the Playdate is, I have talked about this a few times. This is a weird-ass console. It's very strange. I don't know, like, why anyone would get this other than a collector's thing. It's very strange. The games are very simple. They look like this. It's very, very, very weird. I'm gonna say hi. Okay, you go for it, Selmas. But yeah, so if you've not seen, it's you play the game and you use this little crank and it does mechanics. I love the look of it. I don't know who this is for though. Like it's very specific. If you like little fun, just silly gadgets, I think that's for you. But I don't know how much this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be picked up, because it's still sizably expensive. It is. You can pick up it priced for American, I believe. This is $179. The case and the bundle for $200. Pretty expensive, but yeah, fun little thing. But I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna do. Oh, there was another Genshin article. I was actually meant to have this for the other one. Mio will actually add the remaining. So they've actually done a like release window for all the different continents, and they're saying that it will be Genshin Impact will be released over the next 4 years. So that's their plan. So currently they've only got 3 zones opened up. The first 2 were on release, and then well, I think they're both on release. The new one just came out, so 1 a year basically. So it's kind of like expansions. I feel like that's gonna be weird. I feel like that's very slow. Because the content does run out pretty quick in that game if you aren't into just grinding over and over. But yeah, I'm okay with that in a sense. Genshin's cool. I'll probably return to it every now and then, and it's still making a fuckload of money. Alright, now we get to talk about Gold Lewis Dickinson. Guilty Gear released the trailer for the new character, Gold Lewis. We saw this coming. If you guys know, if you guys actually sort of maybe looked at your files in a particular way in Guilty Gear, you kind of know who's coming. The leaks are kind of out there, but it doesn't change the fact that this is a character people were very excited for. First DLC character for Guilty Gear. Oh, this is the starter's guide. I don't want the starter's guide. I want the trailer. Where's the trailer? Give me the trailer. Hang on. Go to YouTube. We'll look at that one in a second. First, we need... Here we go. So, this is a character that was in the story. And, first time we've seen him, he's fucking crazy looking. Such an intense look. He is a large man. He is the Secretary of Defense. He literally protects the United States with a coffin that has extraterrestrial inside. No, sorry, there's no aliens.
Let me explain. Huh? That can't be right.
Oh, it's so good. The concept of this character is fucking nuts. It's very Guilty Gear. I don't know how he'll, like, okay, we'll go into how he plays in a moment, but this is very cool. He has a homing beam, like, he fucking has a dash as a heavy. He fights you with a coffin. Very American. It's really funny because when he first got revealed in the story, there's a cowboy in the back of Exerd that we thought that was him. And it probably isn't, but it's weird because the two characters are very, very similar looking. But, yeah. Now, they also revealed with the Gold Lewis coming out, they actually revealed their plan for all the time frames for each of the character releases. So we got July 27th, so Dickinson's literally like coming out tomorrow? No, in a few days' time. And then in August, they're going to do another character, which is very likely we know who it is, and it's probably the final boss of the story. And then it looks like we're going to have one more character before the end of the year, and then 2022 for the other two, as well as a battle stage, a second battle stage, and another story. And I love the story to Guilty Gear. I'm very excited. We haven't, like, I don't know how you do more story with Guilty Gear. I think that the next story arcs will have to set up for the new plotline of Guilty Gear. I don't know what, like, that means. The story ends in a very particular way. I won't spoil it. If you haven't seen it, it ends very much ending a lot of people's storylines. So, yeah. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Hell yeah, I'm hyped for Gold Dick Lewidson and his Behemoth Typhoon. Man, alright, if you want to know some fighting game memes, let's jump into the fighting game meme right now. So this is how to play Gold Lewis. He's an interesting play style. Now,
Character who can effectively poke, mix up, and keep the opponent locked.
So he's a heavy. He's very sturdy. I think he might have some armor on his moves and stuff like that. But you can see here, he fights pretty much with his coffin and a machine gun. But
you can perform a variety of attacks by inputting a half circle in the direction of your choice and HS.
So if you just heard that correctly, Behemoth Typhoon is any half circle in 4 directions on Heavy Slash. This is fucking crazy. This is nuts. If you may have seen some of the memes I posted on Twitter,
as the attack properties vary,
check this out. We get a fighting game pizza. Literally a half circle in every direction for a different move. That is so much on a single button. It's going to be so confusing to fight this character.
Be careful.
I want to swing on the sticks like an actual fucking monkey. I know, people are going to not be able to play this character very well, I'll be honest. Oh, thank you for the water, Alex.
Behemoth Typhoon, Gold Lewis swings his coffin from behind him to the front.
So the meme is, every single time he talks about a half circle motion, in this Behemoth Typhoon, literally every fighting game video right now or comment section is talking about this move. Behemoth Typhoon. Literally, he talks about this move until here. Like 2 minutes of just talking about it.
With the opponent.
But he also has a different system, which is security level. So
as time passes.
He basically, if you want to know how to play this character, he's very fun looking. He has an auto meter. His specials and supers are relative to how much they do to it. So most of it is on Behemoth Typhoon. And the rest of it is on security level, but yeah. In this Behemoth Typhoon, is this a highlight of all of them, Bob? Please tell me it's a highlight of them.
Typhoon. In this Behemoth Typhoon. In this Behemoth Typhoon. In this Behemoth Typhoon.
I love his cadence is exactly the same in each of them.
In this Behemoth Typhoon. In this Behemoth Typhoon.
It's literally 20 seconds of the video is him saying that line. Fantastic. I love that. Thank you for that. But I'm very excited for this character. It looks super cool. Very Guilty Gear. He probably a little bit more Guilty Gear than some of the other characters have been in the roster for so far. Yeah. He's not very far away. He's going to probably not shake up the meta too much, I can't imagine. Heavies generally don't. But he looks like he might be at least decently powerful. All the girth has half the worth in this Behemoth Typhoon. Hey Medic, how you doing? If I don't have a friend like you beside me... Obviously there's some song lyrics I'm not quite getting here. Now, alright. We're up to the 2 big main articles here. Oh wait, Bob, is it the live action? Is that what you're talking about? That if you have that video, I'm happy to watch that as well before we jump into this. Because we actually have the 2 big news things I wanted to talk about here. I think I've got 2 small articles after that, but yeah. Yeah, the live action one. The live action was very funny. I think I put it in Discord. But yeah, so the Olympics. The Olympics has officially started. For better or worse. Honestly, my opinion on the Olympics is I don't give a shit. I'm not really a sports person. 2, I think this shouldn't be happening because Japan is currently in a pandemic. I think it's pretty grotesque that this is happening, unfortunately. Especially when the fact that they have active cases in Japan, in Tokyo, where the Olympics are. And the fact there's lots of people over there that haven't had vaccines. So, you know, not great. But people very hype for the Olympics, just in general. A lot of people do. However, what got people a lot more hype is Japan loves video games. They love video games a lot. It is a very large part of their thing. And yeah, they had a lot of music, which took a lot of people by surprise. Now, the fact it wasn't that music, video game music was played, it was video game music that people were not expecting. Now, if you haven't seen the list, a lot of copyright is happening here. So a lot of clips, you probably have seen them, but probably been quickly taken down just because of that's kind of what happens with stuff like this. But there was a full list somewhere, but there's a lot of ones that were surprising. Now, things such as Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, these are pretty big, that makes sense. Dragon Quest, Square Enix, they're all Square Enix. Monster Hunter from Capcom, we got some Monster Hunter music, which is crazy. Sonic the Hedgehog. We also have, we had Frog's theme from Chrono Trigger, Tales of Battles theme. It was weird. But then some of the ones that was even weirder is Nier's music in there. There was Song of the Ancients, literally a series about how pandemics destroyed the world, a pandemic that destroyed the world, and they're playing Nier music. There's obviously whoever vetoed the music for the Olympics, big otaku, very big nerd, very much slotted in some stuff in there that was not expected, and that got people pretty hyped, pretty funny, and yeah, some good choices, I would say. I don't think any of the choices I'm like, these are not great. I think Frog's theme's pretty weird, but yeah, kind of funny, kind of weird. I'm not gonna watch these clips, and I'm not gonna go check out the Olympics. I don't really care. It sounds like Nintendo's not involved. I don't know why there's so much Square Enix. Maybe it's best purchaser, maybe some stepped away. Not really sure how the picking is working for music and video game related stuff for this particular Olympics, considering the original opening thing was supposed to have like Nintendo and stuff in it. So I don't know, big changes. I hear it was the Song of Ancients. It was, yeah. God, I want to see that clip of Nier being played. I haven't actually seen that clip yet, Bob, honestly. But yeah, I was pretty upset with it too. Here we have over 530 million deaths, and we'll have it. Yeah, I don't understand. I think it's ridiculous, Alex. I wasn't very impressed by the Olympics still going ahead. If you didn't see, there's also Australian controversy related to the Olympics because of how the Brisbane thing. Mil, not million. Miles? Mil, not million. But yeah. I'll hold on to this video. We'll come back to that video. We'll come around to that. But yeah, because it's Japan, there's a lot of stuff that's interesting around this Olympics. And one of the things is they have a little animation. I haven't actually watched this yet. Now, this is 8 minutes. This might be a little long to watch together. But it's a little anime animation related to the Olympics. So if you guys want to watch this, I'll drop this in chat. Hang on, we'll jump out here. So if you guys want to check this out, here it is. But Japan's animation quality is always just killer. Oh, 1,000. That makes a lot more sense, Alex. I thought you meant global at first or something. Even that did make sense. But yeah, it almost looks like Ghibli style. Is this Ghibli? I closed the article by accident, but I might have to double check. This almost looks like Ghibli-esque. Very cute, whatever it is. But I will watch that later, I think. Is this made by Ghibli? The studio Panok is a fairly new studio. It's been around 2015.
If you ever wanna win an argument against an Aussie, just bring up the fact they lost to emus and that a prime minister once crapped themselves at a Macca's.
Oh my god. Whoa, wait, hang on. Selmas, you know about the Prime Minister thing? Wow, I didn't realize people outside of Australia knew about that. That's pretty funny. He won't admit to it, that prick. But yeah, it's a studio that's been around for 2015, so it is from members from Studio Ghibli. That's why it has that Studio Ghibli vibe and art style. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty pog. But something else that kind of took me by surprise is, guys, have you been to Google? Have you ever visited the website Google? Yeah. So, Tokyo Olympics, Google Doodles 16-bit Championship Island Games. Very cool. This is actually really cool. If you haven't played it yet, this game actually looks like it might be worth spending some time on. It's very cute. It is a very well animated little thing. I talked about it with friends. This looks like Toei animation to me, because this has got its own unique animations in it too. I'm fairly sure this is Toei, but it's very, very cute. You also have a Prime Minister that just fucking vanished, and no one did fucking thing about it. Yeah, Harold Holt. Dumb cunt went for a swim with a bad shoulder. Super dangerous bit of beach. Yeah. Ninja me? I'll be a ninja cat. I love how much Japan does put cats as ninjas. I don't know why that thing's over the top of it. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, it's very cute. I think is this a full playthrough? Oh, it's about them making it. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this later. But if you haven't seen the game itself, I won't play it much here. We're just going to open it up. I might look at that article later. Google.com. All you have to do is go to Google.com and then go and press here. And then you get yourself a little cute game. And we can watch that animation. But here we are. Check it. Now, if you've played a lot of sort of SNES games or SNES RPGs and GBA games even, it has a lot of that vibe. So it's just this fun little adventure. It's got a lot of little different mini games. Google has released a lot of games like this before, but this one in particular is very much looks like made by actual game developers, and has really nice tone to it. It works on mobile too. Oh, nice. But yeah, so pretty much I think there's these 4 gods of sport that you need to defeat, and you pretty much have to win their mini games. I don't really know what to extent how long it is, but really, really cool. Never heard of it. But yeah, if you've never played this, go to Google, go check it out. Actually, it looks kind of fun. Man, our Prime Minister disappeared. Anyways, you want to go to Macca's and do some surfing? That sounds about right. But, alright, before we get into the big thing, we're going to watch this video. We'll watch some memes. This, we knew, by the way, we knew Gold Lewis was pretty much coming. It was pretty leaked. But this came out like a few days before. And this is extremely well done. I'm a little disappointed that the Ailamau didn't come out of the coffin properly, but just being his arm's pretty funny. This is a high effort meme, by the way. I'll be honest, I thought this was a Mega 64 bit at first. But yeah, there was a very funny meme. I really like this. Are you a podcast listener? Put your hand up. Are you a podcaster? I'm an avid enjoyer of podcasts. Rosary. Hey, Rosary. You're my friend. You're my friend too, Rosary. Welcome on in. How you doing, man? Are you excited for Gold Lewis? Hey, Storm. Pokemans. I can say Pokemans here. It's elsewhere, Storm. I can get away with it here. So we can talk about Pokemon Unite as much as I want. But for now, we're gonna hit the big shit. So here we are. This is the big news of the day, of this week. The lawsuit of Activision Blizzard. Now, this is something that's been building for a while. So this investigation has actually started 2 years ago. This is something I had heard rumblings about, but I didn't know what to extent it was going to go. Oh boy, here we go. So, Activision and Blizzard. I just want to clarify something because a lot of people, I think, still don't quite understand how Activision and Blizzard's relationship works. They are two separate companies. They are integrated, but they are two separate companies. They do not share the same offices. They do not share the same managerial staff, but they do have a shared board of directors, and they do have shared, I believe the CEOs do have, like, sway over each other. So, Activision and Blizzard, not just one, but both of them have very, very toxic work culture. Now, this is something I've heard over the past few years, and it's been getting built up. I don't really know too much about Activision. It's, to me, as far as I know, it's been pretty bad for a long time over there, but I didn't know Blizzard's was getting worse and worse. Well, I knew Blizzard's was getting worse and worse. If you hadn't heard, there was probably about a year or so ago, maybe more, where they were talking about some really bad stuff with some female stuff. And yeah, holy shit. It was way worse than I couldn't have imagined. There's some now anecdotal stuff. There is some stuff that's in the lawsuit as descriptive specifics that are pretty bad. This is I think this is worse than the Ubisoft situation. I'm not gonna lie, because the lawsuit against them, especially being held by California to this degree, is probably going to take a large swipe at both Activision and Blizzard. I don't know how the CEOs are going to handle this going on, but their initial way of handling it has been fucking atrocious. Both companies are not handling this very well, and I'll talk about a bit more specifics and things. I'm a bit more outside, so it's hard for me to talk about a lot of things, but I have heard a lot of more internal stuff, like a bit more anecdotal stuff that's secondhand, that sounds pretty fucking damning and pretty destructive to both organizations. So, pretty big deal. California state is going to be taking on both Activision and Blizzard, yeah, it sounds like it's a lot of focused stuff specifically towards toxic culture towards women, but it sounds like it is toxic culture just in general. The current phrase, like, you'll see this being thrown around, not at just this company, but at quite a few companies in the AAA industries. Ubisoft had this as well. Frat boy culture. Frat boy culture being extremely big. Apparently, like, drinking being very heavily in the offices. People being touched, people being commented on. There's a woman that took her life on the Activision side due to harassment. There is just apparently one of the main guys at Blizzard that he worked on WoW for a long time. I know his name because his name is in-game in WoW. He left the company I think it was like 2 years ago when this sort of started kicking up, and them doing the investigation, because he was known to be a sexual predator. So yeah, a lot of really fucking heavy shit. Yeah, you can read if you want to look into this stuff that's in this article, by the way, I've pretty much heard in multiple different sources. It sounds like it's pretty much everyone's having the same conclusion as to what this state is. A lot of people are now taking this opportunity to speak out about things that have been happening, so even more statements are coming out about this, which is making it worse. But there has been some comments that have been made by both Activision and Blizzard, which we'll go into in a moment. But we do know that recently Bobby Kotick was recently prevented from not getting like his bonus. So he was going to get a large payout or get an increase in salary, and then people spoke up against it. And then the board of directors and the shareholders decided no, he should probably get an increase in money. And yeah, so Activision's Bobby Kotick sounds like he might be pretty much in a pretty heavy firing line here. I would say that it's a weird situation for JL and Brack. I always thought this guy wasn't the worst, but it might seem he's just been very complacent, unfortunately, as things have gotten worse. I always thought he wasn't the worst guy, but it seems like it's been getting worse and worse, and he's going to have to take the bullet here somewhere. But both of them made comments now, both on Activision and Blizzard side. Again, they are two different entities and making their own comments. Blizzard's president internally comments on troubling harassment lawsuit. An email is going around now because Brack has released an email saying about how he feels about the situation, how the company should proceed, and he is deeply concerned, which in a way is the right things he should be saying, but words only go so far, and actions need to have been taken sooner, and it feels like this might be far too late for it now. And yeah, so it's Blizzard, that's how they're handling it. Not fantastic, it's just a bit lax, a bit shit, but it's much worse on the Activision side. Activision exec tells team that the lawsuit is actually hurting their company. If you did not see, there is a statement that's come out by Activision saying that they're basically attacking the lawsuit, saying this is unfounded, ridiculous, it is a waste of taxpayers' money, it's none of it, it's all fabricated. There's like a whole heap of stuff that's fucking ridiculous about this statement. A complete wrong statement to be happened here. And yeah. Activision executive Fran Townsend, who was the Homeland... What? Oh shit, I didn't know this. Who was the Homeland Security Advisor for George Bush in 2004-2008, joined Activision in March. Sent a very different email that has some Blizzard employees fuming. So I did not know that. Now, by the way, a lot of these are weirdly... Like, it seems to be, like, legitimately internal. And as you can see, Jason Schreier at the front of all of this, because he is the man. If you want to follow some real, just legitimate games journalism, he is still the guy. But it's, fuck me, like some of this stuff, if you want to, I'm not going to go read through this entire thing, but some of the stuff that's said here in both sides is just, yeah, internally they are very, 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 very upset. Activision employees, Blizzard employees, not happy about the situation. This is going to spiral out of control, I think, and this might be one of the biggest lawsuits towards video games that have ever happened. This is a really big deal. The more I read about it, the more I realized how severe this was, and fuck, this is pretty crazy. Storm, I have seen your thing, by the way. I will get to that after this. But yeah, flares and Molotov cocktails flying at Sydney anti-lockdown protest. Oh, what? Okay, I thought you were going to talk about something to do with this, CJ. So that's crazy. Di, you didn't use the posture check redemption? Wait, I have a posture check? I don't have a posture check redemption, do I? Do I? I don't have one of them. That's one hell of a resume. I was a Homeland Security Advisor for Bush, and then I went to work for Activision. I know, Storm. I didn't realize that. So there's actually, it's funny because there's a couple of people like this that have appeared in the games industry, and that was deeply concerning when I first heard it. I think I actually remember reading out this article back in March, now that I think about it. I actually had concerns when I originally read this. I didn't, it's funny that it's come around full circle in a sense. But anyway, there's more to this. So this is now having a flow-on effects into different areas, because Activision worked with lots of different companies, so is Blizzard. Now, Bungie has spoken out and said that the toxic studio cultures in following Activision's lawsuit, probably to protect themselves. I'm actually curious about a few different organizations that have worked with Activision, what they're going to say about this, whether or not their cultures are going to be reviewed as well, whether or not this will have a flow-on effect to a few other things. But yeah. This is going to be big. This is going to be one of those ones that we're going to probably hear about this for a while. Just like the situation with the Apple, Google, and Epic lawsuits, this is going to have flow-on effects, and this will probably continue for a while. Gaming outlets halt Activision Blizzard coverage. I'll read that one in a minute, actually. Warcraft 3 Reforged devs blame company for lack of support. So this one's a little bit of a hearsay one. The Reforged game, people were not really impressed with it. It was pretty rough. If you look at also the Diablo clone, Diablo game that's going to mobile, that one looks like it had some rough stuff as well. Like, it seems like organizations working with both sides are not happy. I don't know how much this is actually true. It does make me wonder, though. Something I will say here is, if you look at how World of Warcraft is right now, I don't want to blame the culture's scenario for necessarily why the game's in the state it is. People are leaving WoW for a reason. Like, players are leaving WoW. Staff are leaving Blizzard. The game is struggling. It's losing numbers very heavily. If it wasn't for Classic, WoW Classic, then they probably would be in a lot worse state, honestly. And, yeah, perhaps this is related. Maybe this is why the last few expansions have been fucking dog shit, and they've had issues with female characters in their story writing for a little while. So maybe it's related. Who knows? But yeah, this is a weird thing now to be in hindsight with some of the stuff where it's like, how much of why Blizzard is in a bad state and why projects are falling apart and games are just coming out undercooked or in a way that people are not happy with and they're not listening to player bases, is because it's just their internals are so fucked. That could be what's happening here. Who knows? But we'll see. As time goes on, we'll get more sort of anecdotal evidence and people talking about it. If people leave that company and talk about it without NDAs, we could find out some stuff over the years. The post-mortem on this will be pretty insane. But yeah, from one villain to another, I know. Speaking about posture checks, oh my god. All right, Summers, I'll do that after we get through the news. The Epic Apple lawsuit is Epic being a bunch of babies. I disagree with that, Storm. I think Epic is not fully correct with their choice here, but I think that they are doing the right thing because I think Apple needs to be really fucking reined in. Apple and Google are really, really problematic. There are literal monopoly lawsuits that are being targeted at Apple and Google right now. So Epic wasn't wrong to take that lawsuit to them. I think that Epic necessarily isn't the champion of the people here. I think they are definitely fighting for themselves, but the repercussions will be good for the people if it go through effectively. But every smartphone has attacks. Why isn't Nintendo or Sony being attacked as well? Well, that's the thing, Storm. That's why it's like these things need to happen. These lawsuits need to happen because the laws need to be adjusted. A lot of this is arcane. There's a lot of stuff that isn't being dealt with. The fact that AAAs can get away with a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be. This is why this stuff happens. It comes to a boil and then pretty much it goes into law and then they have to deal with it. And then hopefully something gets invented to prevent further issues with other companies and other organizations. But yeah, that's why I will stand by the Epic lawsuit in the sense that I want that to go forward. And it's been doing good work. It's brought out some stuff into the light that otherwise we would not have known about. As much as people want to hate on Epic, I think Epic's does good stuff for the industry. I think they do a lot of good, as much as people want to shit on them. But anyway, back to this. One other thing I want to talk about is people's now what's the word? Boycott of Blizzard and Activision, which is now including gaming outlets, which is a really, really big deal. I'm curious how much people are going to lean into this, because at the end of the day, consumers and different marketing things and people trying to make money will say they will boycott, but then they don't. But we will see what they will do here. It is a good action to take. Hopefully they follow through with it. Now, I'm always pretty critical on both these companies, so I don't feel like things will change here. I don't really play any of them on stream either. But with other content creators, I am curious how they're going to handle this. Because a good example is one of the biggest ones that I follow is Belua, and he is literally a World of Warcraft lore person. He does news daily or almost daily for World of Warcraft and his team. And what do? They obviously feel for the people that are working in those companies. They've brought up the idea of some of this before, like not in depth, but saying it sounds like there are problems here, here, and here. I wonder what will happen. And now it's come out. And now what do? Do they stop making content for WoW stuff? There was a point there they were trying to move towards making more news-related content that was general, similar to what I'm doing. But it's a hard thing to sell to people, like just doing general stuff. So people who are specific content creators, like that are currently doing Blizzard games or doing Activision games, and they decide that they want to move away, but their fan base might not necessarily want to, because they're not... Gonna be honest, a lot of consumers bit in it for themselves. They probably don't care what's happening within those organizations. They just want to play the game, especially with people who've played WoW for 20 odd years or whatever. It's something that it'll be an interesting thing to see if people do go through and boycott, or you see people move away from, but kind of unlikely. Do you think people are going to stop buying the latest COD? I don't know. But anyway, it's good to see here, though, with gaming outlets preventing themselves from doing news on them, because you need to get the news correct. You need to also not promote the platform that'll be making money off your articles and things like that. There's a lot of stuff. This is a good thing in a sense. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, I uninstalled Battle.net from my PC, but I still have Secure installed. I'm not sure what to do with it. I know Activision published it though. That's the hard thing. They are a publisher as well. That's why I think that the Activision side is a little bit harsher to deal with this than Blizzard, because Blizzard kind of just do their own thing. Blizzard are Blizzard. Activision kind of are a bit of a bigger fish in a sense. That's why them getting hit hard is a really good thing. It was always the concern. Way back when Activision first decided to make the, not merger, but they decided to work together with Blizzard, always was a weird match with those two companies. I could never understand it, because they didn't really necessarily feel related. And the fact that they didn't do a full merger, it was just a partnership of sorts. And now it seems like both of them are going down with the sinking ships. Both of them are taking each other out for some reason, and I don't really understand what's going on. But yeah. Holy shit, Game Explain is still a thing. I thought Andre was driven out by the web slave driving his employees. I don't know. I don't follow a lot of these myself. You'll notice I follow very particular gaming coverage places and organizations that do journalism for games. Not that I'm saying any of these is bad. It's just that it's my go-to because I have a bit of faith in them. But especially like gamesindustry.biz, it's very direct. I like a lot more cleaner and cold and not like getting involved in stuff. If I want opinion pieces, I have lots of other people I go to. I like Giant Bomb and I like Silicon Era, but like a lot of the time I do end up in a bit more older fact, here's the thing, articles. Al, thank you for the water. And the host. But that is that. Holy shit. That was a big thing to talk about. I don't know. I don't know about this lawsuit. We'll see how it goes. It's a really big fucking deal. This is probably one of the biggest lawsuits in video games I can think of. Correct me if you're wrong. If you can think of another bigger one that's happened, this could be really, really... Like, the thing is, Riot got hit with their thing, but then that didn't full-on follow through. So there's a hard problem with a lot of the stuff where it goes through and then it rolls back. Unfortunately, things get, like, looked into. But this one is a... Because this is the hard part, because I don't know American law very well, this is actually run by the state and it's done by officials. It actually doesn't have lawyers involved. This is actually an investigation. This is something that the government is looking into. This isn't a lawsuit of being able to defend yourself from defamation. This is something that is going to be an investigation for them to be reprimanded. Riot kind of had something similar like that, but it wasn't. I think they still had it was a court case and it could be walked back by various judges and things like that, which is what happened. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway. We'll see how this goes. Pretty fucking crazy thing. It was one of those things where someone, Mia Mara, actually asked me about it yesterday, but I didn't want to comment on it because I hadn't looked into it enough. But I feel a bit more comfortable talking about it now, and it's a big fucking... this is a big shit show. Not gonna lie. I honestly feel for the employees. If you are working at Activision and Blizzard right now, look after yourselves. Well, the ones that aren't being, like, shitheads. Ones that are victims here. And ones that are, like, needing to find a place outside of Blizzard or Activision because your roles might be at risk, or our company might be at risk of losing a whole heap of funding. Yeah. I feel for you. You find somewhere safe, I hope. Because, I'm not gonna lie, Blizzard still... Their art team has always done fantastic work. I think that their design works team has always been funny. But there's a lot of legacy in that company, like, that I'm very fond of. And even in some parts of Activision, that I would hate to see them disappear off the map. But this is the insidious nature of AAA and money and corporate, so... Yeah. CJ apologizes to him? God. You guys leave my bot alone. But yeah, there we go. Alright, that is the news for today. I'm actually going to do... I was thinking of doing a tier list, actually, now. So, we'll finish with the news. Oh, Storm, Pokemon? Oh, shit, oh, the Pokemon thing. Fuck, I forgot. Thank you. I actually didn't grab the URL. Okay, hang on. One more piece of news, and then we'll look at that tier list, because I actually wanted to do that separate. What is this? Okay. Stop! God. Alright. Now... I'm glad... The funny thing is with that is, like, it's only, like, whatchamacallit? I can only do the first, like, 5 seconds or something. Yeah, you can't clip it. But yet... That's what you get. You'll protect you? How do I time out Owl? Wait, I'm fairly sure if I time out Owl, Owl loses power. But anyway, that's the news for today. That last thing, Storm, you're very naughty. You're on thin ice here, Storm. So are you, Owl. Now you're on thin ice, taking that back before I took it back. Alright. Let's do a... whatchamacallit? What am I doing? A tier list. Let's see, let's change this up. So, Monster Hunter